Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Copycat. She made her very first appearance while posing as Domino in New Mutants issue number 98 that was released in December of 1990. Although her very first appearance as her true self was in X-Force issue number 19 that was released in December of 1992. Her real name is Vanessa Geraldine Carlysle, also having many different aliases, primarily individuals that she's impersonated, in particular Domino. And she's a top-tier meta-morph that was the wife of Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, who stood 6 feet tall and weighed 148 pounds, naturally having red eyes and white hair with blue skin and pointed ears. Although all of these metrics are variable due to her arguably being the best meta-morph or shapeshifter in the world. Now, she potentially has this top-level honor due to her metamorphing abilities being so accurate that even those closest to her target individual can't tell the difference. Matter of fact, unlike the well-known metamorph Mystique, Copycat's morphing goes to the genetic level, actually going so deep that she can reproduce most individuals' powers as well. The extent of her copying ability did depend on how long she was around her target, with her abilities functioning kind of like a sponge. But when she's absorbed all that she can from an individual, she basically becomes that person, having their exact same personality, memories, and even life force itself. And just like Mystique, her abilities allow her to create organic clothing to go along with her persona. Although, unlike Mystique, Copycat can only shapeshift into other humanoids, not animals and other life forms like Mystique can. But hey, you gotta make some concessions somewhere. Now, Vanessa is a complex and fascinating character in the Marvel Universe, with her abilities leading her into a tumultuous path filled with love, betrayal, and a constant struggle for survival. She originally hailed from Brunswick, New Jersey, and her mutant powers led her down a dark path. She would find herself trapped in the world of quote-unquote adult work in Boston, a harsh reality that would forever shape her outlook on life. However, a brief ray of hope would emerge when she met a young mercenary named Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, with whom she deeply fell in love with. But this happiness would be short-lived, because Wilson, being diagnosed with cancer and fearing repercussions from his shady employer, abruptly ended their relationship, which left Vanessa devastated. So now, being driven by desperation and a desire for revenge on Wade's employers, she would embrace her mutant abilities and become a mercenary herself. Her skills as a shapeshifter made her a valuable asset, and she was hired by an arms dealer named Tolliver to impersonate Domino, another mutant mercenary, in order to infiltrate Cable's team known as X-Force. This deception would place her at the center of many major events, some of which including battles against the Alliance of Evil and the monstrous Proteus. Yet, despite her duplicity, Vanessa developed a sense of camaraderie with her teammates, and this newfound respect would lead to her having some problems. You see, Copycat's subsequent lack of continued intel sharing would lead to Tolliver sending Deadpool to force her hand. Her cover would then be blown by Deadpool, who acknowledged her true identity as a mole to the team. But Cable, who still believed her to be the real Domino, was surprisingly forgiving, and he attempted to use her skills as a double agent to fool Tolliver into believing the team was killed, and then for them all to be able to infiltrate Tolliver's base. However, this plan somewhat backfired when Cable discovered the real Domino being held captive by Tolliver. So at this point, Vanessa, fearing repercussions, fled into hiding with her friend Tina Valentino. And the events that followed were a whirlwind of betrayal and violence, because Vanessa's close friend Tina would be tragically killed, and she'd be forced to cooperate with a vengeful Domino and others to escape Deadpool and Sluggo. This uneasy alliance would briefly continue as they searched for X-Force. Subsequent to this, we'd see Copycat become involved in the hunt for Tolliver's last will and testament, which led to a brutal encounter where she would be wounded by Slayback. Her injuries actually would have proven to be fatal, but she survived by Deadpool allowing her to copy his healing factor. After some years would go by, we'd find that she had some semblance of peace in San Francisco, living with Garrison Kane. But of course, her life would once again be disrupted by Deadpool, with their volatile relationship continuing to be a source of conflict. From here, Vanessa would be captured and taken to the microverse, only for her to quickly be rescued, then be thrust into yet another scheme involving Taskmaster and Wizard. This time she'd be manipulated into impersonating the powerful mutant known as Titania, to be able to infiltrate Deadpool's inner circle. Later still, we'd see that Vanessa's skills had attracted the attention of the Weapon X program. She'd be recruited alongside Kane and tasked with bringing Deadpool into the program. However, her power upgrades began to have a detrimental effect on her memory. And so when she instead started seducing Wade, their volatile relationship would reignite. Although this would ultimately fizzle out due to Deadpool's infatuation with another mutant known as Siren. After some time would go by, we'd see that Deadpool would then himself be recruited into the Weapon X program to take out Copycat. But he would refuse and try to warn her as well. So it's at this point that Weapon X would turn around and send Kane to kill both Copycat and Deadpool, seeing them both as liabilities now. So while Deadpool fought Kane on his own, we'd separately see Copycat mortally wounded at the Bronx Zoo in New York City by the savage Weapon X agent known as Sabretooth. Tragically, she would seemingly die in the arms of Deadpool. However, while we see Deadpool mourn her loss in his own crazy ways, Vanessa, unbeknownst to him, had actually survived the attack. And despite the fact that Wade had fallen into a delusional relationship with a sock puppet he named Vanessa, she secretly watched over him, disguised as a chimichanga stand owner. And after finally seeing his recovery after his sock was destroyed, she would choose to leave him behind and forge her own path. Now, Copycat's story is one of constant reinvention. Being driven by a desire for survival and a complex emotional web, she navigated a world of espionage, manipulation, and violence. Yet, despite her initial deception, a sense of loyalty and a yearning for connection would emerge. So we see through her actions that Vanessa, the woman who could be anyone, ultimately carved out her own place in the Marvel Universe. Now, for her powers and abilities, and her influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Copycat a rating of 7, which is a master rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.